Trevent here, KySports.TV, live from All In Barbershop in Glasgow, Kentucky, home of the legendary barber Chris Whitney. And he also has a new barber in with him, Dustin Wooten. Both of these guys are small in stature, but they are large with the clippers. Chad Lee, you will always be the midget barber, but just so you guys know that's out there watching KySports.TV, supports All In Barbershop, and Chad Lee, you are not on these guys' level, regardless of whose car or motorcycle you get and take a video with in front of the shop. Chris Whitney, just real quick, tell us a little bit about the battle that goes on with Chad Lee and his shop and Shake Rag. By the way, Chad, Chris has 2 locations. You just have 1.
What's up, everybody?
That's Chris Whitney. That's the barber. He is cutting right now. He has junior tailback Nick Mitchell in his chair. Nick's getting himself together for tomorrow night. They play Allen County. They will host Allen County tomorrow night at 7 o'clock over at Glasgow High School. That's the new barber in town, Dustin. He got somebody laid back in the chair to sleep. I believe that's Michael Whitney over there. He's a hooper at Glasgow. There's Demarion Green. He's a sophomore at Glasgow High School. He's also a member of the Scotty team. That is Truck. I'm not even going to tell him your real name. I'm just going to leave it with Truck. No, that's Lamont Driver. He's a Hart County alumni that's going to take a little part in our show tonight. And here is the man, 6'5" wide receiver from parts unknown, Jaden Franklin. Young man's been having a big year so far, and there's a little Raider. He just covered his face up. I think his sister's a little tired. And we got another gentleman over here. He's just here for the cut. Last week, I did not come to you guys with the show. I was traveling. I was on the way to Orlando to watch the Louisville Cardinals play the Alabama Crimson Tide. We had a great trip. Not the result we were looking for as far as the game goes. Really, it was terrible. I'm still trying to figure out why we was fair catching. And I say we in reference to Louisville. Fair catching on kickoff returns, and you was fair catching on the 5-yard line. Can't do that kind of stuff. We not really a lot to comment on about the game. It was pretty bad, and the faithful Alabama Crimson Tide fans that was there were definitely some obnoxious people. But let's move on to high school football. This week there's a pretty big lineup. Predictions are kind of going to be up in the air this week. I know the weather's supposed to be real rainy, maybe some storms moving in. If you don't have a good running game, I'd say you're probably going to have a bad week this week. We're going to start off with Monroe County at Barron County. You know, it doesn't matter if where they play. Monroe County wins big at Barron. Christian Academy will travel to Elizabethtown. Christian Academy, I think, is currently ranked number 5 in Class 2A. E-Town, I think they're still ranked. I'm going to go with E-Town. Campbellsville will travel to Greene County. I think that game will be over probably at about the midway point during the 3rd quarter. My alma mater, Caverna. We still looking for a win. But as always, I support my guys in the purple. But I have some contests with these picks, and they travel to the rival Hart County Raiders. Hart County has had a couple of really big wins back-to-back here, so I got to go with Hart County big in this game. Russellville will travel to Logan County. Russellville by 3 touchdowns. Logan County had a great season last year, but I think that Cinderella run is over. Adair County will travel to Metcalfe County. I know Adair County's down. Metcalfe County, I'm going to give Metcalfe County the win. PRP will go to Radcliffe and play North Hardin. I'm going to roll with North Hardin just because I can. North Hardin in that game. Central Hardin goes to South Warren. Boy, that's not going to be good for Central Hardin. Jacob Lacey, they call him the man in the middle. And I think he's going to do whatever he wants to do on the field tomorrow night against the Central Hardin Bruins. The next game is a pretty interesting game. It is LaRue County will travel to Taylor County. LaRue County had a bump in the road a couple of weeks ago against Russell County, but you can't take anything away from Russell County. They're a very big, strong, athletic team. Had a running back that was about 240, 250 pounds that absolutely did what he wanted to do. But, on the other side, Taylor County is getting back to being one of the better programs in the area. But LaRue County has them two brothers, Jeremiah Belton and Anthony Atkins, Thunder and Lightning. Any way you want to look at it, they're going to give it to you. So I'm going to roll with LaRue County in that game. John Harton travels to Warren Central. I think John Harton is an hour ahead of Warren Central. They are on Eastern Standard Time. Warren Central's on Central Standard Time. So you're going to gain an hour when you come down here, but it's not going to make much difference going back because you'll be back pretty quick. That game will be over maybe after the first quarter. John Harton big against Warren Central. Then you got Edmonson County at I had a boo in that one. I think that may be because Whitney is from the Bowling Green area, but hey guys, when's the last time Warren Central won a football game, Chris?
Myself, still in high school, that's been 3 years.
It's been over 3 years since Warren Central's won a game, and I it's my show, so I can say what I want to say. There's another boo. John Harton will be back before Chick-fil-A closes. Edmonson County travels to Warren East. What's the kid? The Maxey. Is that his name? Thomas Maxey. Came from nowhere last week. Young man had, 300 yards rushing? 350 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. Very special kid that's just now made his way on the map. So those of you that's watching, you may want to consider checking out Warren East if you can one time this year. Warren East big over Edmonson County. Bowling Green at Owensboro. That will be the battle of Shake Rag and All In. What's the name of his barbershop? Two Lanes. I'm sorry, but that's Owensboro's in trouble. They are on a collision course when Bowling Green gets off the exit. Bowling Green will win the game by halftime. Beto Tisdale will do whatever he wants to do, or as his daddy calls him, Buddy. Big game from Buddy Tisdale Friday night. The Alabama, UK, U of L, LSU, Auburn, Georgia, Oklahoma recruit. Who else? Arkansas. Everybody in the country, basically. Ole Miss, the entire SEC wants this kid. Some of the guys that play for Glasgow were talking about Clemson, and I'm sure that Dabo Sweeney will be offering Buddy Tisdale real soon. But again, our featured game of the week, I've kind of taken a liking to these kids. They're a good group of kids. Will be Allen County Scottsville at Glasgow. I've had the pleasure of watching Glasgow a couple of different times this year. Let me flip the camera back. That kid there, Nick Mitchell, is one of the most physical running backs I've seen this year. He's not going to try to run around you. He's going to run over you, and it's going to take a whole lot of you to tackle him. The other beast that's here in the barbershop, Jaden Franklin, he's having a superb year. Look how big his hands are. It's ridiculous. If you throw it up, go get it. So I'm going with Glasgow 35, Allen County 0. Y'all haven't given up a touchdown all year, right? So I don't think they plan on giving up another touchdown. And since I'm here in the barbershop, I'm going to take my hat off tonight and let you see what my barber did. That's Chris Whitney. I still got the hat line across the top of my head, but Chris Whitney is somebody's barber. We argue all the time, but if you're in the Glasgow area, Hart County, Cave City, Horse Cave, and you need a barber, come and see Chris Whitney. He'll treat you right. And if he's busy, that other guy that he got over there, I give him a hard time all the time, Dustin Wooten. But Dustin is actually a pretty good barber. Dustin, y'all see that I'm growing kind of thin, but Dustin has something that can bring all that back. He'll put 15 years on you if you're losing your hair. Come by and holler at him. We're going to take a few minutes. I'm going to talk to a few of the customers that's in here in the barber shop. I'm also going to talk to the barber. I'm going to get over a little closer to him. And he's a Bowling Green alumni. And, of course, we all know that Bowling Green's won it 5 out of the last 7 years. Is that right? The Alabama Crimson Tide of the area. But sometimes giants have to fall. And we're going to talk about life after Buddy Tisdale when I talk to Chris Whitney. But right now we are going to we're going to bring Jayden Franklin over here. I'm holding my phone today. I'm mobile. I'm not stationary. So I'm going to bring Jayden and let him bring his chair over here and jump in here with me. We're going to talk a little bit about his season so far. Bring your chair over here, Jayden. This is junior wide receiver Jayden Franklin. Jayden, we've had a chance to interview you a couple of times after the games. What do you think has really fueled you to become the football player that you are now?
I do watch a whole lot of college football games in my pastime, and I just love the atmosphere and all that about it. I just love everything about it, and I just love being like, I just want to be like that for real.
All right. Well, I was having a debate. With some guys a few weeks ago, and we were actually debating Jayden's best sport. Jayden is basically your all-state baseball player, one of the best in the state of Kentucky. He's also a all-region basketball player. But I was telling the guys that I was debating with your body frame, with your hands, and really your speed, you gain 40 or 50 more pounds. I really don't think that baseball and basketball is your sport. I think football is where it's at. You can't teach a wide receiver to be 6'5" and have the hands that you have. Elaborate a little bit with me on what you think your best sport is and what you feel that you will have the most success with after high school.
I feel like my best sport overall would probably be baseball. I can just do a whole lot in baseball. I pitch, I can hit, I play multiple positions in the field. But I do feel like football will give me more opportunities. I think it will open up a whole lot for me.
Y'all heard it here first. It came from the horse's mouth. He feels that football will be his best sport with the best opportunities. Basketball. You guys had a pretty good basketball season last year, and you had a couple of guys to move out, but you also had a couple of guys to move in. So,
yes, sir.
You can't fill the void of a Kobe Brent as far as shooting the 3-ball, but Tucker Kirkpatrick, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he's a nice player. How do you think your basketball season will go this year?
I think we'll be just fine, to be honest. Losing Kobe is going to play a big factor, and also losing Chris. That's at 8 to 10 points that we probably lost, and maybe 6-7 rebounds a game. But I think we'll be all right. We do know that we'll have to work a whole lot harder with them not being there, but we're a pretty tight-knit group, and I think we'll just be just fine.
Jake, you heard it from me. I said 35-0 in Glasgow Scotties. Am I going to be embarrassed after the game?
No, sir, you won't. The defense has been playing lights out, and Coach Garman has got them ready, and I've seen it in practice every day. It's just, we go up against them. The first team goes up against them every day, and they make it hard on us. And I know they're going to make it hard on the Patriots come Friday.
That's what people want to hear that's here in Glasgow. Now we're going to move the camera over. I didn't want to get Nick while Chris was on his head, because sometimes Brother Whitney can nick you a little bit. You know, he's got me a few times, so I didn't want Nick to get nervous. And we're going to talk about this airtime here in a little bit, Whitney. Try to get a little donation or something from you. Nick, you're averaging over 100 yards a game. You told me after the scrimmage what your goals were, what you wanted to do. Do you feel like that you are producing enough for these college coaches to start coming in and talking to you about maybe giving you some offers?
Yeah. Just gotta keep working and hopefully it'll come to me.
I mean, if you work as hard in practice as you do in games, then I assure you that somebody's going to find you out there on the radar and give you a shot. Whitney, Bowling Green, Owensboro. Chad Lee said Bowling Green's on the clock last week.
Well, Chad Lee don't know football because he's never really played. But I predict it's going to be a blowout, and me and my boys are going to be over moonlighting, eating some barbecue, and having a good time in his city.
Chad Lee, I'm not very savvy with the camera, so I don't know how to tag you during this live video, but Chris Whitney said that Moonlight Barbecue should be on you after the drilling Friday night. Let's move on to some college football. Who does Western play this week? I know it's terrible that I don't know, but I just don't know. Louisville plays Indiana State. After that thumping, Louisville has to come out and look real impressive to have any shot at redeeming themselves for this coming year. And I do know that the University of Kentucky plays them boys, don't they? Is this the week that Kentucky plays Florida, Chris?
I believe it is, sir.
Lord have mercy. Was it been 30-some years? 1986? 1986. But now we're gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna get some input on this Hart County Caverna game. Chandler Wilcoxon, I see you watching. Again, Chandler's a good young man, and Chandler's actually a client here at All In Barbershop. But we're going to talk to Lamont Driver. WKU plays Maine. Thank you, Chandler. I didn't even know Maine had a football team, so we're going to go with WKU against Maine. We're going to take the University of Louisville over Indiana State and Florida Gators. Go Gators. Was that Chandler? Am I right on the Kentucky does play Florida this week, right? I'm gonna wait for him to give me an answer real quick. But while I'm waiting on him to answer, but Lamont played football at Hart County. He's still Chandler. Do they play each other though? Does Florida and Kentucky play each other? Oh yeah, the streak's not over. Trust me, young man, the streak is not over. Lamont Driver played at Hart County. He still plays a part at Hart County. No, I'm sorry. He plays a part with youth here in Glasgow. He's a little league coach. Lamont, I know that you are employed here in Glasgow now, but you still have roots in Hart County. Hart County, I picked against Hart County, and they embarrassed me. Then they come out the next week and win big, and now they've got Caverna tomorrow night. What do you think about the game tomorrow night?
Well, coming from Hart County, you never know what you're going to get. It's been like that for the last 25 years. So if they're on a good winning streak, I give them the win over Caverna because they have been struggling over the past few years. They are building the program back up, which is a good sign. But for this week, I'll give it to Hart County.
Well, you heard it there. Lamont Driver, he rolled with his Raiders. And to all you out there watching, if you will just replay it, share the video, and pick against me. If your picks beats my picks, KySports.TV will furnish. We're not ESPN, so we can't have a car giveaway for beating my picks. But if you beat me, I'll buy you a pizza. KySports.TV will buy you a pizza. We're going to get out of here. It's getting close to NFL opening night. You guys share this video. If you've got people that don't like our page or follow us, get them to follow us. We'll check back in with you on Saturday and go over everything. But good luck to all the high school teams. And just because I pick against you doesn't mean that I don't like your team or respect your team. But I just have to go with what I know. So you guys have a good weekend, and we'll check back with you Saturday.